Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to an extra special episode of Ratchet and Respectable, the Odyssey edition. We're here today with one of my very favorite people in the whole wide world. I call her my sister. I call her sister my sister, and her mom, and her brother's brother. Like I'm officially family. But her name is Davida Selby. Say hi to the people, Davida.
Hi, guys.
Hi. I mean, in addition to being like a wonderfully amazing person, she also has like a full-time job and does like magical black girl shit. But Davida is are you like the owner, the founder, the creator?
All of the above.
All of the above. She does all the things for Katelynn and Adwoa. What do those names mean?
Kate is my grandmother, Lynn is my sister, and Adwoa is my mother's Ghanaian name.
I love
which
it.
Which is also your Ghanaian name.
It's also my Ghanaian name. Yes.
It means girl born on Monday.
Yes.
Adwoa.
I have a whole like necklace. Remember I brought like that necklace in Ghana? I did.
Yes, from the art center.
Yes, and I made everyone call me Adwoa the whole trip and was signing my dear mom letters like, love Adwoa. My mother was like, who?
We have to get your mom's Ghanaian name as well.
I don't know what day of the week my mom was born on.
We'll figure it out.
Does she know? Anyway, we are here with Davida. Davida and I are in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. We're on a small island, 2 hours away from Cancun, and then a 20-minute ferry, and then like a 40-minute golf cart ride from the ferry. We're in the middle of nowhere.
The middle of nowhere.
Yes.
I'm crashing the Odyssey.
I love it. You're on the Odyssey, whatever. Davida and I have been posting pictures and videos and a whole bunch of stuff from this trip, and everyone wants to know, of course, where we are. And I'll share that as soon as we leave. There's a security issue, just, whatever. But people want to know, like, about travel. They want to know, like, how are you traveling? Like, how does this whole process work? What are you doing? How do you plan these trips? How do you pick where to go? So I wanted to do a Ratchet and Respectable episode with one of my favorite travel partners. Like, we've been here in Ghana, in Kenya, in Savannah. We're supposed to be in Brazil.
We've done local and international travel.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite travel partners, and so I wanted to like talk travel with her because in addition, we didn't even mention that part. The KLA goes to Ghana. We skipped over. That's the important part.
One of the important parts.
That would matter.
Yes. So in addition to Katelynn and Adwoa's skincare, we have KLA goes to Ghana, which is the travel leg of our company. We try to be as open as possible, so you can see where your skincare products are from. The shea butter comes directly from Ghana. So my sister and I decided, what better way to show people where shea butter is from than to create a 7-day vacation, completely curated. Of course, we had to tap our sister, Demetria, to come on the trip with us. And we had been talking about going to Ghana together
forever.
So it only made sense for Demetria to come to Ghana with us. And KLA Goes to Ghana was born.
When our conversation about Ghana first started, on the Savannah trip, our very first detour for that trip was we went to a plantation.
Yes.
And you being like, literally African and American, we went to this plantation and we were like, this is some bullshit.
Yes.
And we need a beginning that doesn't start,
What did she call
a duplex?
A duplex.
It was a slave quarters with an upstairs and a downstairs. Like, it wasn't like an upstairs. It was like a loft space,
it was like
I guess.
2 steps. And
yes.
then you were like in another level of...
Yes. And it only existed so you could like hoard more people into a small ass space with like nothing in it.
She kept calling it a duplex.
She kept calling it a duplex.
We were like, we're out of here.
And was like, it's very comfortable. And then she said like people lived in there, like descendants of enslaved people lived there until like the 1960s. And she was like, see, you can see like the psychedelic wallpaper. And I was, the fuck?
And it was like generations of families. Like
yes, who loved it.
Yeah, they loved it.
It's like nobody want to live on a fucking plantation.
Yeah.
But
so that's when I started telling you about the slave castle.
Yes.
In Cape Coast.
Yes. And I was like, you have to take me home with you next time you go to Ghana. And
I thought our Ghana conversations started in Kenya when I was telling you about getting braids.
Oh, your auntie.
Yes.
It has the, yes.
And I was explaining her whole compound and all the girls, they do braids. And anyone who has been to the KLA trip, they have probably gotten their braids done from my aunt. So her and my mom, back in the days, had this whole conversation about starting like this braiding compound. She had a teaching school, teaching girls how to braid. and decided to create like a full school compound. You can come in, get your hair done. And I was telling Demetria about it because it costs maybe $15 to $20, depending on how fancy you want to get. You want to do the razzle dazzle, it might be $25. But full braids, and they come in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. They pray together, they sing together, they eat together, and then the day gets started. And then it's maybe 30 girls. Yeah. And they're all doing hair, mani, pedi. Like, the school has grown. They have all of the offerings that you can think of for your beauty services. And we were talking about that on the beach in Kenya. And you were like, yeah, I gotta come. Yeah. I wanted to meet your auntie. And you did. And I wanted to see the castle. But I was like, this woman sounds fascinating. She is so fascinating. I was like, who is this? Dopest businesswoman ever. Yeah. Like, you want to see women hustling and their businesses? Go to Ghana. Go to Ghana. Yeah. The market women. Yeah. They hustle. Yes. Yes. Which people would know if they traveled. If they traveled. To Ghana. Yes. But so we want to get the audience, like, traveling more. Like, people want to go. They have funds to go because my girls got good jobs. My ladies. Sure. Whenever we go to Ghana, on the KLA Goes to Ghana trip, we sit around at the opening night dinner. And we're like, oh, how'd you hear about the trip? And they're like, oh, Demetria. And most of these women are like, oh, I don't need a payment plan. I'm paying for the trip outright. It's like, sis. We are ready to go. But it's also like just getting out of your comfort zone a little bit. We make it a little easier because we put together the full itinerary. You know that you're going to be traveling with like-minded travelers. I think a lot of times what holds us back is waiting for our friends to get ready. So I'm waiting for my 4 other girlfriends to come. But, you know, like Demetria, just plan it. Someone would jump on the trip. Yeah. You know? I think every single trip that I've ever been on solo had started out with, like, as a group trip. Yeah. It's like, oh, everybody's going to come. And then one by one, everybody drops out. And they'd be like, well, I'm out. Yeah. They'd be like, you still going? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And now I just book it and then send the itinerary out. I'm like, y'all got jobs. Y'all got, like, you know, time off or your own situation. So all of my epic trips have been just a last minute, hey, I'm going here. Yeah. And then you have maybe 1 or 2 people who are like, I'm coming with you. That's how you ended up here. That's exactly how I was like, here's the itinerary for the Odyssey. I sent it out to a bunch of people. Like, I sent it to you at like 9 a.m. and you hit me back at like 5 and was like, I'll be in Cancun. This is my flight. When you get there, I'll be in the Sky Lounge. I did say that. It's like, you did. And there's no Sky Lounge in the that's airport, hilarious. By the way. You're like, I'll be wherever. I get there before you. Like, just hit me when you get there. And I was like, that's what's up. And that was that. It's easy. How do you choose where you want to travel? That's always like the big question people ask. Like, how did you end up there? Why there? So for a while, I would look at wherever was having a glitch fair. So if it was cheap travel, look at the dates, figure out if I can go. Because when else would you ever be able to go to Brazil for like $150? Yeah. And you also get a couple of stops along the way. So like the glitch fair that I was able to get for Brazil, there was a stop in Peru. So we ended up staying 2 days in Peru, experienced that, and then went to Iguazu Falls, and then bought a flight for like $60 from Iguazu to Rio. So it was just tacking on things, but first looking at glitch fairs. How do you find a glitch fair? Secrettravel.com. That was the website that I used to live on. Okay. Like whenever I felt very stressed or just overwhelmed with work, I would go and peruse secrettravel.com. I love that. If they had any glitch fairs, I would book it and then send it to a couple of friends who I knew were good for it. And I'm like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. Let me know if you can come. And that was it. I'm in Nomadness and Black Travel Movement, which is like 2 of like the biggest travel sites for Black people anyway. And they always post like, you know, like get your glitch fair. That's how I found them. Like, I didn't even know about that site. Yeah. Secrettravel.com. And then once you've booked, then you go on like Instagram, you look at the hashtags. Pinterest, they always have amazing travel itineraries. That's my go-to. Yeah. Like people are like, do you just like Google? And I'm like, no, I go to Pinterest first. Go to Pinterest. And then they have like a full list of best restaurants, best hotels, photographers, wherever you're going. That's another thing too, hiring a professional photographer for a day. I've never had one. Really? Never had a professional photographer. I either shoot my own stuff, because I always have like my tripod with me. Well, you're a content creator, but most average, like the average person who's traveling, they don't know how to create their own content. See anybody with a DSLR, the big ass camera, they know how to shoot. Yeah. So they'll get you a decent shot. You travel with your equipment.
I do.
Most of us just have cell phones that we're traveling with.
I mean, but we're recording this with a cell phone. Like, I mean, I have like my big ass Nikon. I have my Canon, my little tiny Canon that I could carry around in my purse. Yeah. Which is like DSLR quality. I paid a ton of money for that point and shoot, but it's a really good camera, and it goes everywhere without being heavy. So
that's another thing too. A lot of photographers are starting to like give their secrets on how to get amazing photos on iPhones. Yeah. Like when you see like the hashtag shot on an iPhone, they probably have some like tips and tricks on how you can edit your photos, what filters to use, and it ends up looking professional. But if you want to like just enjoy the moment with your friends, look up the hashtag of like a professional photographer wherever you're going. Yeah. And they can like capture the moment for you. Because there's nothing like going back and looking at photos from like 5 years ago on a trip that you were on with some of your girlfriends and you just had an amazing time. Or your vacations, you know. Gotta capture the moment.
I like that ish. Like even like editing videos.
That's right.
Like I call her my former intern, but she's like my kid at this point. But she edits everything. Like she does professional quality work. That she actually like charges people for. It's professional quality. But she edits everything on her phone.
That's so dope.
Like she just she's like, what, 30, whatever. So like she's like, oh, like laptop for what?
The young folk know how to do it.
She's like, I just edit on my phone. I was like, okay, I need an actual laptop for that.
Yeah. And I bet her stuff looks amazing because
looks 10 times better than mine.
People are posting for Instagram, right? So like if it's on Instagram, it's like the perfect 4x3 image. You can see it on your phone anyway. You don't need to like necessarily blow it up. It's not, you know. Exactly. There's so many creative ways to do it.
Yeah. Where if you're not doing like a hack fair, like how do you figure out like where you want to go?
Pinterest.
You just like make Pinterest pages?
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Yep. Pinterest, like top travel sites or like top travel destinations. And you know, just sort of like do your research on each place. And you're like, I've never been. It wasn't even on my list, but let's go.
Yeah, like you just see pictures or something.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up in Istanbul. I saw.
Still haven't been to Istanbul.
Oh my God, you gotta go to Istanbul. It's cheap as shit. Like the hammams, Felice. I'll tell you the Felice story later. It's like this woman like built like someone's grandma. She like scrubbed the shit out of me, and just thought it was great to like point out how dirty I was. And I was like, I'm like, oh my God, she's calling me dirty. And then I looked at my arm, and I was like, I'm filthy. Like I feel like I've never been cleaned before until Felice scrubbed me down.
Jeju Spa in Atlanta.
Where?
Jeju Spa.
Oh, then I need to go there too.
Yeah, I have to take you there.
Yes.
I mean, there are nicer places, but
I want
if
the
you're
scrub
in Atlanta,
down.
Jeju is where you can get a good scrub down.
Okay, that's what I want in my life.
Yeah.
We'll do that when we get to Atlanta.
Perfect.
Which is the next spot on the Odyssey. No, sometimes I just follow like really dope people. Like I remember I went to Brazil, partially because you were going to Brazil and you'd introduced the idea. So I was like, oh, like I didn't really want to go to Brazil solo. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'll just meet you. Were you there with Giannis? Yeah. So I was like, I'll meet you and Giannis there. And then I don't know what my dates were. But I ended up traveling with like another friend. Yeah. And we didn't meet you guys.
We kept like crisscrossing and never met up. But I still need to go to Bahia. Like the way that you painted that picture of being in Bahia, I said I have to go.
It's like Brooklyn, but everybody speaks Portuguese.
I love it.
It's freaking amazing. It's like living in Essence. Like it's like very like Black woman centered. Like you're just like you've walked. Like Essence has come alive.
This is why you're a writer, Demetria. The way that you paint these pictures, I'm like, I have to experience it. I can feel what you're explaining. I want to go.
I'm good at what I do. Thank you. And then I remember like Panama. Alex Hardy, one of my favorite writers, was living in Panama because I think he grew up in Virginia, and so he wanted to like speak better Spanish and like learn his like culture better. And so he moved to Panama like indefinitely, and I want to say he was like teaching English classes, dance classes, maybe both. And he was like doing the equivalent of like a Dear Mom. Like he was just like doing these Facebook updates every day, but they were like so vivid and so like joyful, and he kept talking about the food, and I was like, no, fuck that, I'm going to Panama. So I like packed up for my 35th birthday and like went to Panama. And I was like, I'll see Alex while I'm there, and I did. It was great.
I love that. I love that so much. What do you think it is where people have that like up and go, right? Where like they don't have any fear, and it's like, I'll figure it out. Let me just go somewhere for a while, because not everyone has that.
You just bought a house in Ghana, and you're asking me that?
Well, I'm Ghanaian as well, right? So I didn't buy a house in, I don't know, a place that I've never been. I have family in Ghana.
Okay, fair.
Right? So it's still a comfortability. Kenya was the only other African country that I've been to besides Ghana.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you had bounced around.
I haven't explored Africa as much as I would like to.
No, that was supposed to be our plan.
That was our plan.
Before COVID, like,
Yes.
I was like, my lease was about to be up, and I was going to put all my stuff in storage
We had such
and move
a
to
plan.
Ghana for at least like 6 to 12 months,
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
and, you know, bounce around. First stop, Ivory Coast, because I was learning French.
Yes.
So we could go to the
And
Ivory
even
Coast.
remember that, I was like, I've never been, but I'm willing to go.
Yeah.
I have my Ghanaian passport now, so
Yeah.
I can definitely explore Africa.
And
No, Kenya wasn't the first. South Africa was the first. South Africa was very different.
yeah. South Africa feels like, I mean, it's very much Africa, but it doesn't feel like other parts of
It
Africa.
doesn't feel like West Africa.
No, it doesn't. Not west, not north, not east. It feels very distinctly different. But I love South Africa. What else? What else did people want to know? People didn't ask about budget, which I thought was interesting. I feel like my
That is
readers.
interesting. I feel like the KLA goes to Ghana trips. That's the number one question I get.
It's like, how much does it cost?
How much does it cost? Or like, how much should I expect to spend a day? So like with Ghana, the Ghana cities, it's like what is it? When you translate
Conversion?
the conversion rate is 5 to 1. So your money goes a lot further
Yeah.
when you travel outside of the United States most of the time, unless you're going to Europe.
Europe.
But I always tell people, I mean, as far as the food, the most expensive thing is to get to your destination.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get there, you can budget. Like $100 a day is plenty for most of the places you're going in this world.
Yeah.
Right?
More than plenty.
Yeah.
And that's like do crazy stuff. Like, yo, want to get a
That's
massage on the
eating
beach.
lobster and
We ate
champagne
lobster
every
yesterday, and it was $40 each.
Yeah, $40 each.
And we
that was
both
the most
had-
expensive meal that we've had.
Yeah, and we both had like, you had like lobster. I had the lobster quesadilla, which was stuffed with lobster.
Yes.
And then like a bunch of drinks, plus shots, plus dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it was like, and that was like our ball out.
That was balling.
Yeah. Like
And
it
it
was
was $40 each.
each.
Yeah.
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 We got a whole thing of champagne. I want to say the champagne.
Mm-hmm. The bottle of champagne was what?
The bottle? I want to say it was, yeah, 120. No. Because we got like the good-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So $120.
It's like 120 US, which is like
Ooh,
slightly
girl,
more.
let me check my budget.
Exactly, which is slightly more than what you pay at the liquor store.
That's
But,
right.
you know, but
Yeah.
we're also sitting in a teepee all day.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, so
And it also depends on like how much you shop. I realize I don't shop a lot when I go to places. I pay for experiences.
Yeah.
But I don't pay for like trinkets or things. to
Things
take
like
back
that.
home.
That was the best advice when I was maybe in grad school. My mentor professor, Gary Belsky, who's still my mentor professor, that he gave me that advice at like 20 somethings, like spend your money on experiences, not things.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't listen to that in my 20s. I bought a bunch of like designer
Bunch of
shit,
stuff. Yeah.
most of which I don't even have anymore. I have no idea what happened to most of that stuff. But now I spend it on experiences.
It's all on
I have
experience.
a much better quality of life, not as much stuff.
I did buy a necklace while we were here though.
Yes.
But I loved it.
Yes.
Like I could not stop thinking about it.
Well, that was the Susan Taylor advice.
Okay.
When I was like at her house.
What was her advice?
Buy art or jewelry in every destination. So I was at her Hamptons house, and I walk into the basement, and it's like a perfectly curated art gallery. There's so much beautiful art, like tons and tons. It all blends together. You can just look at it and see that it's like from different places. So I'm like in awe at this wall, and she comes over and she starts, you know, pointing like, I got this piece in you know, I'm paraphrasing, but like Ghana in 77, and this in Haiti in like 88, and this in, I don't know, Jakarta, wherever. But she's just like naming off like all this different art and where she got it. And so she was like, you know, when I started traveling, I got a piece of jewelry and a piece of art in every destination. And so I think I got that advice when I was like 30 something.
I love that.
Right before I started bouncing around. Like the first place I went after that was Haiti. And I made like this big thing, like, I've got to get art. I've got to get some art. But like now I have art.
Did you get a beautiful piece from Haiti?
I got a bunch of beautiful pieces from Haiti because Haiti has amazing artists. But like, I have Haitian art. My dad has Haitian art.
Oh, that's
There's a piece
beautiful.
upstairs and a piece downstairs in their house.
Yeah.
I still have pieces rolled up. I got art that I don't even have places for.
Yeah.
Even on like those big ass loft walls, like still covered in art. But
That's such good advice, though.
Yeah.
Like you walk into a home and you know you can talk about the different places you've traveled, and I'm sure it reminds you of like the great memories that you had.
the
in each
places
place.
you've gone, yeah.
What were some other questions that people had?
What did people? You have a whole notebook of things.
Stop
I
it.
told Davida that I wanted to talk about travel and I wanted her to be on this episode because I've mentioned like Davida should be on this episode. Davida should be on Ratchet and Respectable like at least 3 or 4 times. So I was like, oh, I want you to talk about travel. And so Davida's very type A like I am. She's more of a logistics person, but type A nonetheless. And so she made a list I'm looking. It's a long list too. Like it's like a big notebook, and it's like a full page. So like she has tips because she was like, I'm not going to get on this podcast and then like have nothing
and start stuttering
of importance to say. They want to know how do you pack for a long trip? So like we're here in Mexico. I want to say this trip is 10 days, but I'm on this Odyssey for I think 29 days.
Yeah, my trip stops in 3 days.
Yes,
but that's a great question about packing for trips.
Yeah, how do you pack?
So I always, I have a large suitcase, right? So that's where I put like most of my clothes and shoes and all the things. Like anything that can't go through TSA, you put that in your larger suitcase. You also just pack an empty duffel bag that can fit in the large suitcase as well. Especially if you plan on having like multiple stops along the way. And then you have your carry-on. And your carry-on, I always fill it with underwear because you never know what's going to happen with your large suitcase. A couple of like, just, dresses that you can throw on, travel-sized, toiletries that you might need, a book, whatever it may be. Just throw that in your carry-on. And then when you get to your destination, most hotels, they'll hold your large suitcase for you if you plan on going somewhere else. So when we went to Kenya, we stayed at, I can't remember the name of the hotel, but we stayed at a hotel, but then we decided to take a smaller flight to the beach. So we had that empty duffel, just packed that with a couple of bikinis and, things that we needed for like 2 days. And then we were off. Yeah. Didn't have to worry about bulky suitcases and stuff, especially when you're on like those smaller planes.
Girl, you feel like you're about to fall out the sky?
That's right.
This is going to sound terrible, and I'm not making fun of it. It's like, don't like cancel me. But I always think it is, no, don't even laugh. I always think about like Aaliyah on the island shooting her video, and they were trying to get all that stuff back, and that's why the plane fell out the sky. For sure. So like, I'm just like, those I take like the minimal that I possibly can. If I got to wear the same 2 dresses and like just like 2 bikinis, 2 dresses, a pair of flip-flops, like, and leave all my hair products. I'm like, I want the minimal amount of stuff so that this plane stays in the sky.
And honestly, like, even if there's a way that you don't have to be on those smaller planes,
girl,
I try to avoid it at any cost.
I'd rather take a bus, to be quite honest.
A bus, a ferry,
a car, whatever.
Get someone to drive. Because there are some places in Ghana where you can take a 45-minute plane ride. Like when I went to northern Ghana, to Tamale, where they have like the shea butter farms. You could take a 45-minute plane, but it's like those small planes. There's no telling all the turbulence. You feel every bit of it. You feel like
every bump, yeah.
Or you could take a 12-hour bus ride, and I was on that bus for 12 hours.
I'd rather take the bus. That's what happened in Haiti. Like we took a small little plane to get wherever, and I was like, Lord, like please, don't. And I was dead serious. The views were amazing. It was worthwhile, but it was a teeny tiny. I want to say maybe like 5-seater. It was teeny tiny.
Is scary, yeah.
It was teeny tiny. And then coming back, I don't think we could find a plane, and so we drove through the mountains for 6 hours. And I was in the back seat, like I had to get out and throw up, like because I get car sick, like it was bad. But I was like, I'll take that over we're gonna get there in the car. Like I trust the driver. The roads were paved. It was fine. But I was like, them teeny tiny planes in the sky. I just be paranoid the whole time. We're gonna fall out the sky because it's like just you feel every bump. It's crazy.
As much as I love flying, those planes, I'm terrified the whole time.
But every time I've gone to like one of those like small airports with the tiny planes, they always have storage. Like they've always like had lockers or something where you can like lock up your stuff. Or like you said, you can just leave it at the hotel.
Yeah.
That's the easy way. For this trip, I deliberately packed 9 outfits.
For this stop?
Just for the whole Odyssey. I only have 9 outfits total. 9 outfits, a pair of booty shorts.
How'd you choose the outfits?
Okay, so this is weird. Because of the time of the year, everywhere I'm going is hot. Like, so it's kind of the same outfits. Yeah. They just, degrees of dressiness. Right. So I only think there's like 2 things that I wouldn't wear more than once. Like my dad is having his 80th birthday party. So I have a specific outfit just for that. Okay. I know that like New York outfits, I can't wear like the same half naked stuff that I wear in Mexico because I've got to be like halfway dressed on the train so as not to get like harassed or groped. So like I have like more appropriate dresses for that.
Do you have a sequence outfit for Vegas?
No. I think I'm going to redo like the white linen jumpsuit.
Oh, that was fly.
For Vegas. I also...
And do it up with like a bunch of jewelry?
Oh, I have like elaborate heels that I shipped to my parents' house. Okay. So that's the other thing too. So like my parents' house is halfway in the middle of the trip, or begins like the second half of the trip.
Okay.
So I can wash all my stuff and then pick up like the stuff that I've sent there. Because I have a whole different set of like sandals and like, you know, heels, Vegas-y stuff.
Okay.
And New York-y stuff that I'll have in Vegas, and DC stuff because DC dresses up.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that's how I plotted that out. But otherwise, it would just be like I'd have to go to like a dry cleaner or go wash my clothes in the middle of the trip. Usually a hotel will wash your clothes. It's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But it's convenient.
And then there are always like little boutiques wherever you go, right? Where you can get like a dress that you can throw on or something, right? Because I feel like Ghana, I never pack enough. But you can step outside the hotel on Osu. Like in Osu, there's always like vendors that you can just buy a dress.
Literally like along the streets. It's like Wakanda. Like the last scene in Wakanda where like they're walking through the market and there's like all of this like cloth in the background and everything. Like that's kind of what that main strip is.
I'm sure there are lovely African countries, but Ghana, there's no place like Wakanda has to be like.
I can't speak for all of them. I've only been like 4.
Well, I just told you I've only been to 2. However, I can only imagine Ghana has to be the best.
South Africa counts. South Africa counts.
Okay, fine.
Don't make that face.
I mean, our food, the people, the art, the culture.
The food is like our food. Yeah. Like it's like, I mean, which when I say our food, I mean like American black food, but also Brazilian black food, and also like Caribbean black food, because it's really all the same food.
For sure.
Seasoned slightly differently. Yeah.
Like New Orleans is my favorite American city because their food rivals Ghana's. Like the way that they use okra in all of their stew, or their food reminds me so much of Ghana food. The rice with every dish that they have, the extra stew that they put on things, and even like just the feel, the music. New Orleans reminds me of that.
Yeah. What did I get? I got like okra stew.
Yeah.
And then the woman was like, "You want some crab with that?" And I was like, "Sure," because I'm from Maryland. Like you never turn down crab, especially if you're like, you know, coastal water city. And like I came and like I tasted it and I was like, "Girl, this ain't nothing but some gumbo."
Exactly.
And then y'all put a little extra spice in it. It was hot. It was spicy. But I was like, "Girl, this is gumbo. I know gumbo when I taste it. This is gumbo. My mother makes this. This is gumbo."
Okra stew, gumbo, same.
Same.
Which is part of the conversation we always have, right? About the cultures mirror each other.
Yeah.
You get to Ghana and you're like, oh, Ghanaian mommy, same as Big Mom.
Yeah.
Back in the South.
Aunties are aunties. That doesn't change.
Aunties.
Yeah.
Like we held on to our culture.
Yeah. Just mismatched it with some other things, various ways in different places, but it's the same core. Like when I went to Bahia, like I went to this street festival. It was like Afro-Brazilian Day or something. And so all the girls are out there and they have like big poofy hair. And the vendors had like fried chicken, peanuts, watermelon, black-eyed peas.
I love it.
The dancing, like they had different dances, but I was like, I know that rhythm. Like that's all the same. The music, drums, like, and then they had like the thing that really tripped me out is they had like these T-shirts. You know, like in Brooklyn when we go to festivals, they're like, I love black people. Right. I love my hair. I love my lips. I love my nose. Blah blah blah. Yes. It was the same T-shirt in the same font, just in Portuguese.
That's so dope.
And I was like, I feel like I'm in Brooklyn. Like I feel like I'm on like Atlantic Antic. That's what it felt like, just like being like in the middle of Bahia. And I was like, I could live here. I just don't know no Portuguese.
Listen, you can't outdo black people.
You can't. I mean, it's
around the
world. It's like I mean, all black people, not just Americans. All black people.
All black people.
Worldwide.
Same.
What do you do for solo trips?
I've never taken a solo trip.
What?
I've planned. So Brazil was supposed to be a solo trip, but I sent it to a couple of girlfriends, and not even like, "Hey guys, come with me." It was, "This is what I'm doing for my birthday."
Yeah.
And very similar to how I crashed the Odyssey, Giannis sent me a message by the time I got to work and was like, "This is my flight information. I'm coming with you."
Boom. I love Giannis.
And then I went to Germany by myself, but I knew someone who was living there. Okay. So the only time that I was really by myself navigating was getting from the airport to her apartment. Yeah. Which was a whole movie, but that's another topic.
Yeah. That's the thing. People often think that I'm by myself. A lot of my friends just don't like to be in my pictures on social media because my audience can be a little, you know, not everyone, but some people just like, you know, get a little, you know, extra. And they be like, I don't want that shit. Like, that's you. Right. You're like, you know, faux celebrity, whatever. Like, you go do that ish.
Faux celebrity.
It's weird. It's weird to say that. It's weird.
I had to play publicist with you the whole time.
I mean,
we met these beautiful women on the beach.
15.
15. And they're like, one girl was like, oh, Demetria, I know you. And then her friends were sort of trying to piece things together. Like, so, what do you do? And this one is like, I'm a writer. I was like, guys.
Am I not a writer?
She has a whole movie on TV One.
I mean,
based on a book that she wrote. What are you talking about? You have a podcast. You have, like.
She didn't she didn't tell me everything that you do. Listen, she said, what do you do? The core of what I do.
I do all of it. I am a creator in every sense of the word.
Yeah, telling people you're a content creator, it makes you sound like you're broke and living at home.
Talk your shit. I do all the things.
Like, I do all the things. I'm magical.
And her girl was sitting there like, I came to a bell in Brooklyn, in D.C. My friend loves you.
She did say that.
And you're playing like humble Henrietta. So her friend was like, this doesn't make, like, who are you for real? Like,
because, like, the story's not adding up. Like,
one girl came over like, I went on your Instagram the other night. You didn't tell me you are who you are.
I'm an employed black woman.
Listen.
I'm an employed black woman. That's who I am. I'm an employed black woman.
That is a blessing.
With free time to travel.
Yeah.
So she was like, 30 days. Like, you ain't got to be in the office? No. That's not quite my ministry right now.
And right now, everyone's working from home.
Exactly.
They're working from around the world.
Exactly. Like, if you can. We met 2 girls in the hotel. They were like, oh, where are you from?
Oh,
we were like, oh, we're from, like, LA and Atlanta. Like, where are you? And they, oh, we live here.
We live here. We moved here.
Like, oh.
And was living their best life.
Exactly. I didn't really know how to process that. I was like, oh. But they were down at the pool. Yes, they were down at the pool. They were 2 glasses for the champagne, the good champagne.
That's another thing that I'm loving. I feel like every, like, group of black women who we run into, they have their bottle of champagne.
Mm-hmm.
They have, like, they are just doing it up. Living life their way.
Okay, so you're eating clean. That's great. But are you cleaning clean? You might not know it, but we may be eating a credit card's worth of plastic each week, thanks to the tons and tons of single-use plastic we throw out. Blue Land is trying to fix that. Blue Land was founded on the belief that a cleaner planet starts at home. It's a simple idea. Buy the bottle once, refill it forever. No more plastic waste. Just fill Blue Land's beautiful Instagrammable bottles with warm water. Pop in one of the hand soap or spray cleaner tablets, and within minutes, you have powerful and effective cleaning products in the most incredible sense. Blue Land's stunning, high-quality, forever bottles start at just $10 when you buy a kit, and are meant to be reused forever with money-saving refill tablets that start at just $2. So, cut the plastic waste without sacrificing clean. Get Blue Land. You'll love it, and the planet will thank you. Now, what I love most about Blue Land, in addition to protecting the environment, is they're cute. They're so much more pretty than your typical cleaning bottles. Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you go to blueland.com/ratchet. That's 15% off your first order of any products Blue Land orders at blueland.com/ratchet. blueland.com/ratchet. Building a presentation is a daunting task, especially if design doesn't come naturally. Presenting is much more nuanced than throwing together bullet points and charts. Part of the challenge is making the experience memorable for an audience. So making presentations wasn't something I enjoyed or felt confident doing. I just don't have a lot of experience. But now that I have Canva Pro, creating and sharing presentations is easier than ever. Canva Pro is the easiest way to create presentations like a pro. Whether you're presenting to your team, students, or clients, Canva Pro has beautiful layouts for every industry, theme, and project. If you don't know where to start, Canva Pro can help inspire your creativity with thousands of free designer-made templates that are totally customizable. Thanks to Canva Pro's time-saving tools and editing features, I can create high-quality, high-resolution presentations in minutes, and they look stunning. I always get compliments on my Canva Pro presentations. There are so many presentation templates to choose from, and they look super professional. Plus, I can design, collaborate, share, and present on any device, which makes it super easy to work when I'm on the go. Canva Pro comes with endless extras, like 75 million premium photos, videos, audio, and graphics. You get all this and more, and just one Canva Pro subscription. Now, my favorite Canva Pro feature is, there are so many. The storage. I love that I never have to go searching for the latest file. Wow your audience with Canva Pro, the easiest way to create presentations. Right now, you can get a free 45-day extended trial. Just go to canva.me/ratchet to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/ratchet. Canva.me/ratchet. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been doing these Dear Mom stories. And today's Dear Mom story was about me and Davida basically got drunk in the middle of the day yesterday. And then went and sat on the beach to in a drunken stupor, which didn't feel drunk because we've been drinking good liquor. And so I'm sitting in the middle of the water. Davida's on the beach. And I'm yelling to her from the middle of the water an idea for a novel. So about this 42-year-old woman who goes on this odyssey after a divorce, and she meets up with lovers old and new and the things that she learns from these lovers. So kind of
so hot.
I know, right? I know. But essentially I wanted to read some sexy romance novel or sexy novel on this vacation. I couldn't find what I was looking for. And I was like, okay, yes, I can read 7 Days in June or go read all of Tia's books, which I think I have on my bookshelf. But I was like, I just want something hot and sexy about a woman in her 40s because I'm a woman in her 40s. And I feel like people don't write about women in their 40s. Yeah. They write a bunch about women in their 20s, which is a great time. Yeah. But the party ain't over.
And it's a great time, but you don't have real money yet.
Yeah.
So you can't even live the life that you want to live yet.
Exactly.
They should write about women in their 40s.
Exactly.
I have time, I have money.
Exactly. Yes.
And you're finally fine as hell in your 40s.
Exactly. You still, you cute.
Yeah.
And you're confident.
That's right.
There's a lot. And you got better clothes.
Yep. You have a therapist.
Exactly. You have a therapist. Exactly. There's a lot. You're drinking better liquor. Yeah. There's a lot happening. But I'm yelling this story idea to Davida. And so I do a recap of, this thing that I want to write about and how we've been, masterminding, our business plans for 2022 while drunk. On this trip. But this woman says to me, she was like, I feel like the story that you're telling, I have to do this suspension of disbelief because black women just don't have money like that. And all these stories, the only way that black women get a bunch of money is either divorcing someone with money or spending all of their savings. So I have to suspend disbelief. And I was like,
that is problematic.
Yeah, I was like, sis.
And it's not true.
And not true at all. And I was like, no, I did an Odyssey, which I didn't call it that, but 2018, I went to 10 countries and 10 cities in 1 year, just bouncing around. I mean, I was living at home, so I didn't have bills. But still, I had a savings account, which I feel that's what I'd been saving the savings for. Yeah. You save to save just because in case you need it one day. Yeah. And I was like, I'm a fucking mess. I need to see some world, see something bigger than myself. So I'm not just caught up in my own shit. So
But it's also sad too that clearly this woman, whoever said that, just hasn't seen women being able to live out loud.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you're not a celebrity or an influencer or whatever the case may be, there are plenty of women who have good paying jobs.
Yeah.
Who know how to save their money and spend it on things that they truly love, which might be traveling for a couple of months, right? There are some women who have work from home positions. There are a couple of people who came on the KLA Goes to Ghana trip and they were like, oh yeah, I could stay in Ghana for 2 months. And very comfortably. They have a 9 to 5. They just work from home, so they can work from anywhere in the world.
It's I just need internet access.
They are deep into the 6 figures, not 101, but they're making great money.
The joys of 40.
Right?
Plus,
the joys of 40
or 35 plus.
And they're like, yeah, I don't have anyone that is looking for me. I don't have a boss that I need to report to. I'm living life my way. Yeah. We get to do that.
Yeah. And also too, because I know sometimes people are like, well, I have kids. Them kids got a daddy.
Those kids have
kids got a daddy. That he's not babysitting.
Yes.
He is not watching them. He is raising his children in the absence of their mother while she is on vacation.
And some people are traveling with their kids.
Or you can do that too.
And showing us how to do it in the most sexy way.
No, Imani's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about your thing. We totally skipped over your thing because that's how you met Imani.
Yes.
So Davida, do you want to tell it? Or do I want to tell it?
I can tell it.
Okay, you tell it.
I'll tell it. So, Katelynn and Adwoa skincare line. Recently, I got. How did this conversation start? So, Nikki Porche She owns Buy From a Black Woman, and we've been friends for about 3 years. So she reached out and was like, hey, are you like an official Buy From a Black Woman vendor? Because I have an amazing opportunity coming up, and I want you to be a part of it. So I went in, and we both go to Effect Fitness in Atlanta. I have to shout them out.
I love them.
So Nikki and I were working out at the gym one morning, 5:30. She was like, yeah, make sure that you sign up as a vendor because big opportunity coming up. Went home, made sure that I was an official vendor. Later on that week, we have a Zoom call and found out that our brands, I think it was about maybe 16 to 20 brands, we were going to be featured in the Buy From a Black Woman Inspire Tour presented by H&M. So our products were featured in H&M's around the United States. Like, this was a deal that Nikki had brokered for Buy From a Black Woman, and if you were a vendor under her company, you had an opportunity to showcase your products. So Katelynn and Adwoa was highlighted in the Atlantic Station store and in New York on 5th Avenue. Like, y'all, that was such a monumental moment for me. Like,
I was so happy.
So happy and so thankful to Nikki. But while at 5th Avenue, I'm talking to this lady. Mind you, all of the vendors who were there are like goals. I admire each of these women for different reasons. And I started talking to Imani, and she was like, oh yeah, I grew up in PG County, and I know Demetria. I was on her podcast. I was like, oh, you know, my sister. And she was telling us how she moved to Egypt with like no real plan, no real savings, met her husband there, and was just really going out there to like just live her life, see what else, you know, life had to offer. And ended up just loving it, meeting a man. They got married. They now have a baby.
He's 3.
I think. 3 kids.
No, he's the baby's 3. It's 1 baby.
Oh, okay, 1 baby.
Yeah.
And the baby's 3 now.
Yeah.
And they have lived around the world, like starting from Egypt, and now they're in Mexico.
Yeah.
And she has products that help moms travel with their kids. It's like these travel bags, which were phenomenal. But yeah.
That kid's passport is probably longer than mine.
Oh, I'm
he be
sure.
everywhere. Like,
I'm
everywhere
sure.
she goes, like, he's there.
So dope. But, and I mean, just seeing Black women are doing it on every stage, every level.
Yeah.
Like,
in every circumstance. Like, they figure it out.
That's right.
I love it. What's Imani's like? Let me find her Instagram real quick. I think it's Imani Bashir.
I'm slightly obsessed with her.
Me too. She was like one of my favorite podcast like interviews. I mean, I say that about everyone, but like I really like her. And I'm biased because, you know, PG County. You can follow Imani on @SheIsImaniB. IMANI B as in boy. She is Imani B. She has a ton of followers.
She made me want to pack up and move to Egypt. I don't know anything about Egypt.
I ain't never been to Egypt.
The way that she made it sound.
But she be stunting. Her head wraps. Stunting. It's like I'm practicing hijab. Stunting.
And was just so generous and kind with like sharing information, because every time I come across other women who have small businesses, I have all the questions like, how'd you start? Are you doing, you know, is this your side hustle? Is your full time? She gave all the details on like, you want to take this full time? This is what you do, step by step.
Yeah.
This is what I did. This will be helpful. Contact me. Oh, by the way, this person, you know, they're doing ads on Spotify. Make sure you sign up for this program. And we were in H&M for like maybe 4 hours.
Yeah. I
have a notebook full of notes from her and all of the other women. I was asking Oasis Soul. She has like these beautiful candles. And I was asking her about, you know, her candles and how she ships some of her products in the summertime because my shea butter melts. I get all the angry emails from the customers. I lose money because I have to send them a new jar. So she gave me some tips. I mean, everyone was just so wonderful. And that's another thing, too, with, like, this community of Black women, right? Like, it's sort of like what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah.
You're helpful, you're kind, you're going to meet other helpful and kind people. Like, God don't play about his own, you know?
Yeah. One thing that I absolutely love about what you're saying is that I think people think that, like, once you, like, start a business and you're running a business, then, like, you just know your business. But it's, like, a never-ending process.
Yes.
Because like I called you and I was like, I'm about to do this like this merch line and these products and how do I launch in a website and ship it and blah blah blah. And I love that like you're my go-to and you're like going to other people like,
That's
yo,
right.
help.
Like a lifelong student of the game.
Exactly.
And it's like even when you know everything, there's always a way to
you never
do it
know
better,
everything. Never.
Right? And like there's somebody else who's like, oh listen, this is how I'm doing it. It's more efficient. You get to keep more of your profit this way. Try it this way, right? So it's like you're always just a lifelong student.
Yeah.
And I even love that about you, the fact that you called me. Because you've been running your own business for how long?
I didn't have merch though, so I wasn't like shipping. Like the shipping thing throws, that's a whole nother.
And there's so many levels to it too. Like we were talking about this the other night, where it's like you create content, but then there's so many other ways to elevate it or repurpose what you've already created.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, there's so many avenues.
Yeah.
Sky's literally
The limit.
Yeah.
It's work though. Jesus.
It is so much work. Once you get rid of the idea that anything is easy, even when it comes to traveling.
Yeah.
Right? It might not be easy. It'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Once you get to that destination, because it's annoying having to fill out the visa, having to make sure that you get your yellow fever shot, making sure that you're prepared. But then once you get there, it's like, okay, all this preparation was worth it.
Well, I think another part of the preparation too is like, you know, I do these sometimes like epic trips where I'm like gone for like really long periods of time and I do all this stuff and people are like, how do you know this? Like, how do you, like I don't use travel agents, but I sit on Pinterest and we were talking about Pinterest, but I do that for hours, at least a week. And I do like hours a couple of times a day, like going through everything. And I have a notebook of travel stuff. Like I like to write things down too. But like I make a list of like, I want to go here and I want to go there. Like I want to see this. Like I start with
You're
like.
Good with your list.
Yeah.
Because even when we go to Ghana, you're like, oh, I found this restaurant. I'm like, I've never heard of it. You're like, all right, well, I'm going to go try it.
Yeah.
The aesthetic was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I like when I go on Pinterest, I look for like the most Instagrammable places.
That's right.
So I'll start with like, okay, what's cute, and then I'll see like what there is that I actually like, because I won't just go to something just to take pictures. Like I have to actually enjoy it, and I'll take a picture while I'm there if it's lives up to the hype. But I do that, and then I also go on Instagram, and I don't look at the actual like the official page for the place or whatever. I look at the places that people who've been there have tagged it to see what it really looks like without all the filters and stuff. And to see like what they had to say about it. So that's how I figure out hotels too.
Reading reviews is really
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was a place I wanted to stay here, but the reviews were trash. And I was like,
But it looks pretty.
It was so pretty. It was like another, because there's so many tree houses. It was another one of the tree house situations. Like the tree house that we stayed at, the first part of the trip, was a little more expensive, but also had like amazing reviews. And the pictures online didn't do it justice.
Did not. That treehouse was epic.
It was.
Everything about it. You're walking on the grounds and they have Palo Santo burning in front of the spa. I mean, my God, that place was perfect.
It was so perfect. It was
Food,
so amazing.
I mean, everything. It was Pinterest pretty.
Yeah. It was perfect. But even the Pinterest pretty.
Yeah.
Like didn't even compare to like, because I researched everything.
Neither did the food was good. Customer service was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Overall, the customer service here is like been really, really good.
A1.
It's a really good place to be. What else? There's another question. Hair. People want to know like, what do you do with your hair when you travel? Like, what's your hair? Do you have a hair ritual? Do you have a
get it braided?
That
normally
it's not braided now.
It's not braided now because I was running away. I didn't really have time to even think about hair. I was so overwhelmed before this trip. It took everything in me. I just dumped all my clothes in a suitcase and just ran away. But, so the big bag that we were talking about earlier, making sure that all your hair care products are in there.
Yeah. And
normally, with me, I need my pick, comb, brush, gel, Eco Styler gel.
We have like, it's not the industrial size, but it is a healthy, substantial amount of Eco Styler, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else? Wrapping lotion.
Okay.
That always gets like your
the blue wrapping lotion?
That's right.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah.
So if you want to do a ponytail, you want to do 2 braids to the back, you're good.
Yeah. My hair has been out this trip again because like I didn't have time to go and braid it.
I'm loving these curls.
Because when I get braids, like I get them all the way down to my ass, and it's like an 11-hour process, and I was like, I ain't my time for that shit right now. But I have full-size bottles, which I usually don't carry. But just because of the length of this trip, like I didn't want to be anywhere, especially like overseas, and like run out. And it's just annoying to like go running around wherever you are because I don't have a car this trip. Looking for, a black hair supply.
Or you might be paying so much. Like in Ghana, you would pay so much for hair care products.
Yeah. Oh no, when I go to Ghana, I take, again, that's another trip where I take like my full bottles, so I don't like run out. But here I've got the big thing of conditioner, and then I've got my water bottle, so I can do like my conditioner water mix. I'm not doing like a full whatever. And I spray that, and then I also have like this like foaming mousse to keep like my curls like vibrant or whatever without having to like redo my whole hair. And every Sunday, even like when I'm at home, but every Sunday like I wash my hair and do like a full conditioner, comb through, whatever. I have not washed here, but I've done like get it wet and condition it so it doesn't like knot up, because that's like the end of earth. What else is on your list? You have a whole long list.
Leave me in my list
Davida has a whole book. I'm going to take a picture of her like book of list of things that she wanted to talk about.
I put on here, pack your positivity and your patience whenever you're traveling.
Especially now.
Especially now. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in America, right? So you can't expect an American experience wherever you're going.
Yeah.
So just expect to be uncomfortable and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Be patient, especially like if it's a group trip. Just pack your positivity, because like your energy is going to affect the other people on your trip. So just, even if it's a day where you're like, you know what, I'm low energy, I can't do it, just take a day to yourself. Take a beat.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And that's what I do when we go to Ghana. Because like after I've been on a plane for like ever and a day, and I'm like, I have only child tendencies that flare sometimes. And like, when we go on the trip, I do the opening night dinner, and I have enough energy for that. And then I usually take off like the second day. Everyone goes like shopping or whatever. And I go run off and do something. And then when I come back, I'm good for the rest of the trip. Yeah. But I'm very, very aware that I have a large energy presence. Yeah. And I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not like in a bad mood. I'm just not in a mood to be like social and whatever. I just need to like air out. Literally, I just need to go air out.
You know, I'm an introvert, like just naturally. So it takes a lot for me to be on all the time around people. Yeah. But I always have to be cognizant too that like I'm the hostess, right? Like I'm showing these people this country that I love so much, and I have to think about that. So you have to keep your energy high. And if there are times when you're like, you know what, I just can't, which is why my sister, the extrovert of the world, is my partner on these trips. Mika is like, all right, team no sleep, let's go to the club, let's do this.
Went to the castles. I mean, and it was depressing. It was absolutely depressing. Yeah. But we came back. We had like, what, a 4-hour drive back to the city. And Mika was like, okay, like, you know, disco nap, you know, headed to the club at 1. And I was like, girl.
And I was like, oh, they're not going to make it. Whatever. Oh, 1:30, Mika was dressed downstairs, and they had an epic night.
Yeah, I saw the pictures the next morning because I was asleep. I was like, good night.
They had the hookahs,
bottles.
You know.
And Mika knows everyone.
Mika knows
like everyone everywhere.
Mika will get you into, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You hit up Mika like, hey, I'm in Jordan. She's like, let me hit up my boy. He'll get you
She always knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Somebody legit, too. Because people be like, oh, I know so-and-so. Yeah. I don't know who that is. Mika. Oh, Mika, yeah. I was like, really? Really?
Yes. Big sis come through.
She does.
So, yes, pack your patience and your positivity.
Okay.
And if there are times when you're like, you know what, I just can't be patient or positive, then just, you know, stay in the room, hang out at the pool, read a book. But, like, don't bring negative energy to, like, spaces where you know you have to interact with other people.
Don't ruin their trips.
That's right.
Yes.
And even, like, for where we are now, they're like, the air conditioning comes on.
Yes.
From this time to this time.
Yes.
So you might not have air conditioning.
From 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., we don't have air conditioning.
And you
can't right now.
Decide to complain about it or, you know, pout. Or just know it's just part of the experience.
Get your ass up and walk to the beach.
Go
sit in the water and cool down.
That's right.
You'll be fine.
That's right. It's all part of your experience.
Exactly.
What else? Oh, have a basic understanding of the culture. Like, just know, are they more conservative?
Yeah.
Can you walk around with your bikini? How do they deal with, like, drinking even, right? Like, is alcohol accepted in that culture? So just, you know, understanding at least the basics.
Yeah. I've not been anywhere where, like, even like Morocco, like, they're not a big drinking culture.
Right.
But, like, as an American, if you're at an American hotel or a space that caters to American, like, they're a version of, like, a Times Square, like, you can get alcohol. Yeah. Usually wine or whatever.
We went to a Drake concert in Dubai.
How'd that go?
It was dry. No drinking, no alcohol. It's a public space.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And I walked in like, oh, we're going to have a cocktail. No, maybe you're not.
No, you won't. They do have strong tea though.
They do have strong
And if you
tea.
take that tea to the head, which this sounds so bad. Like to me, she sounds like an alcoholic. If you take like Morocco, if you take that tea like straight to the head, like you'll get a buzz.
Yeah.
Like they also smoke a lot too. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Try HelloFresh's quick and easy meals, 15 to 20-minute dinners, breakfast on the go, and more. Easy options, perfect for your busy lifestyle. There's something for everyone to enjoy, with all recipes designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. HelloFresh's high-quality, fresh ingredients are sourced directly from growers and delivered from the farm to your front door in under a week. Contact-free, of course. What I love most about HelloFresh is not having to go to the grocery store. HelloFresh helps me do that. Go to HelloFresh.com/Ratchet14 and use code Ratchet14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Ratchet14. Use code Ratchet14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. Whether it's taking a walk around your neighborhood, running errands, or venturing out on your own, you always want to feel safe. With Birdie, you can keep doing what you love with added peace of mind. Birdie is a personal safety alarm designed to be easy to carry and simple to use. When you activate your Birdie with a quick pull, the alarm will emit a loud 130 decibel siren and flashing strobe light to help deter an attack. Now, thankfully, I've never had to use Birdie in an attack, but I have tried it out at home. That thing is loud. I know for a fact that with my She's Birdie alarm, I won't feel unsafe while walking alone at night. Unlike pepper spray or other deterrents, Birdie is no danger to you. Feel confident to use it without the worry. Over 300,000 Birdie alarms have been sold, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews. Join the flock today for a safer tomorrow. Right now, She's Birdie is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase when you go to shesbirdie.com/ratchet. Go to She's Birdie, spelled SHESBIRDIE.com/ratchet for 15% off your first purchase. That's shesbirdie.com/ratchet. I enjoy a nice glass of wine, especially to unwind after a long workday. Now, I'm no expert. I like what I like, but I also love trying new varieties. Wines my local stores don't carry. That's why I use Vivino. Vivino is the world's biggest online wine marketplace. They're also the largest online wine community with 50 million users who have rated and reviewed just about every wine. Vivino carries all of my favorites, like the McBride Sisters Black Girl Magic wine. Plus, they suggest exciting personalized recommendations based on my taste. I never knew these wines existed, and now I know even more about what I like thanks to Vivino. And their app is everything you need to know about wine and so much more, right in your hand. You can see all the ratings and reviews. You can leave your own and, of course, even buy wine. My favorite thing to do is to scan a bottle when I'm shopping in a store and seeing what Vivino users say about it. And what I love most about Vivino is they have a huge selection and they make amazing recommendations. I've really stepped up my wine game thanks to Vivino. Give them a try, and I know you're going to love it. Go to vivino.com/ratchet and use code RATCHET at checkout to save 20% on your first order of up to $200. That's vivino.com/ratchet. Code RATCHET to save 20% on your first order of up to $200. Vivino.com/ratchet. Code RATCHET. See site for details. Terms apply.
Did I ever tell you about the Drake concert in Dubai?
Yes.
My mom,
Yes.
knew.
Yes, I remember that. Well, tell the people. The people don't know.
So we actually just came back from Kenya, and my mom was taking my little brother to Dubai for spring break. Don't ask, long story. And she met this guy who was part of Drake's crew. She works for an airline, and they were like, yeah, we're going to Dubai. We have a concert. Come through. So I get home, and my mom is like, yeah, so we're going to Dubai, and, you know, some of Drake's people said that we can come backstage at the concert. I'm like, you lying, but I'm coming anyway.
How did your mother know Drake's people?
They called to book. So his travel agent called and got her on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So she booked the travel for everyone. And they were like, Mama Elsie, you're great, da-da-da. You know, everyone loves her.
Yeah.
And they were like, come to Dubai, we'll take care of you. And she was like, well, I was coming anyway with my son. They were like, we have a concert. Come to the concert. Like, we have bands. Just let us know how many people you're bringing.
That's
my mother, right?
That's where Mika gets it from.
Mika was in the music industry at one point. I was in the music. My mom is the one who's getting us into the concert. So so I call Mika, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to Dubai with Mommy and Justin. Mika was like, oh, I'm coming too. We all just figured it out last minute.
I love it.
So we get to Dubai. I'm like, Mommy, do you really know these people? Like, are you sure we're going to be able to get in? Yeah, we're staying at the same hotel as everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They come down knocking on the door. Mama Elsie, you here? Oh, what? All right.
That's hilarious.
So that night, yeah, she came to the concert with us. She didn't go to the after party because we were like, all right, Mom, it's too much.
That's enough for you. You stay home.
But we got to the concert. They took care of us backstage. Pictures with Drake, the whole nine, right? After party, we go. Still no alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the after party. Had an amazing time. The next day, they get boats. We're all on the boat.
I didn't know y'all was on the boat too.
We were on the boats in Dubai.
I love it.
Oh, my mama's hookup.
Yo, tell your mom about these Usher tickets in Vegas. Tell your mom, like, she lives in Atlanta.
Somebody.
I called everyone and their mother. I didn't call your mom.
My mom is,
I forgot to call Mama. She would know.
Everybody. Even, everyone is like, oh, you're Elsie's daughter. I'm like, no. She is my mama.
Yeah. You're Elsie's daughter. For all I've gone out and done in the world, and I like to think I've, people get the L in my name right? When I'm in D.C.,
that's right.
Larry's daughter.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a whole name. Yes, Larry's daughter.
You gotta put some respect on your parents' name,
Ma'am.
It doesn't matter who I call in Ghana. They're like, oh, I'll talk to your mother. My mother?
For what? I'm on the phone with
business owner.
Exactly. It's my credit card.
I will call Elsie.
Okay. What else? It's a long list, y'all.
Culture. If possible, purchase a MiFi kit. Have you heard of the MiFi?
No, it's a MiFi.
So it gives you Wi-Fi out in the market, so you can walk around with it, and it connects you to Wi-Fi.
I usually just get a SIM card.
Oh, even better.
Or wherever I am.
Okay.
Just don't buy it at the airport because it's like triple the price.
It's really expensive.
But yeah, if you wait till you get to like wherever you're staying, even like in the hotel district, it's like double instead of like triple or quadruple. Mm-hmm. And the thing doesn't work in the airport. Like it's got to like charge up or do whatever it does. Because that happened in Istanbul. Mm-hmm. So my mother wanted to put, she wanted me to turn on my tracking devices on my phone. No, I offered to. Okay. And then like, I was like, this is excessive. That's how this whole started. Like a post every day. It's like proof of life. Okay. It started with Istanbul. Yes. My mom was like, you've lost your mind going to Syria. And I was like.
You went by yourself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was a trip where you wouldn't have wanted to travel with me. I love architecture. Istanbul is like an old as dirt city. The architecture has gone through many different cultures. And like there's one building, it's been like a mosque, a cathedral, and a synagogue. Like, that's just how old it is. It's gone through all of those. Well. I love that. I just wanted to go and like take pictures of like one building for like 2.5 hours.
Ooh, like, you would have driven me crazy.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, there's some trips like I don't even bother inviting people because they won't enjoy it. I got a SIM card at the airport, and I paid like a shit ton of money, and it didn't even work for like an hour and change. And then like I got to my hotel, and literally there was like Digicel, whatever it was, like across the street. Actually started with a V. Go to Cell. Across the street. Oh, okay.
With the MiFi, up to 6 people can use it, right? So like we can walk around the city. You can connect. I can connect.
Yeah.
Whoever your laptop.
Are they expensive?
No, it's like $60 for. I think it was like 2 weeks.
Oh, it's by time, not by price, or by data. Because usually it's by data. Yep. Oh, that's a game changer.
You can be in the club, like whatever, not having to worry about your data.
Yeah. Because I stay being like Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Wi-Fi?
Yes. You won't even have to
TNA
ask.
Wi-Fi?
So, doing the Wi-Fi, what else did I write? Staying at a local boutique as opposed to
a chain hotel. I try to avoid chains whenever I can.
And it's like chains is comfortable, you know, like if you're at a Marriott or something, you know the kind of service you're gonna get. But you really get to live like a local if you're at like a local boutique. A high-end boutique hotel if you can.
Yeah.
But
like where we're staying now, I mean, it's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
It's the middle of nowhere.
But we feel like we live here. We feel like locals.
Yeah, we walk around.
The owner, like her husband makes pasta.
And fish. Sometimes.
When he feels like it.
He hasn't felt like it since we've been here. I was like, sir, can you feel like homemade pasta?
With their dogs.
Yes.
Or their dogs are playing with
Their dogs are playing with us. Yeah. Or me, sitting under my damn chair at breakfast.
But yeah, you get to experience the culture in a more organic and authentic way.
Agreed. I always try to find like a offbeat. I try to avoid like, and nothing against like Marriott's or Hyatt's or whatever.
No, I mean, love them for sure. But if you can, and it's like, you know, you get to talk to the owner of the hotel and you're like supporting the local.
I will say this, like I went to one country in particular and it was a lot. It was very different than what I'm accustomed to, and I made it 3 days like living like a local. And then I packed up my shit and called home. I didn't even do it myself because the Wi-Fi was bad.
Right.
I called back home and was like, book me a hotel. Find me the best hotel on this island and book it, and I'll send you the money before Cash App and all that.
What was the best hotel that they had on the island as far as like chains? Did they have like a
If I tell you what it was, you'll know what island it was. No,
okay,
they did not have a Four Seasons. They didn't have a Marriott at the time.
Okay.
They just had a bunch of local hotels, and there was one where like all the celebrities stayed, but with the conversion rate, it was like $200 a night. And I was like, it was really nice, but I was like, get me out of here. Yeah. And I thought I was being like a bougie asshole. I was traveling with like 2 of my friends. And one of the guys was like, I'm staying with D. They went to drop me. Yeah, like I was the one who pulled the trigger and was like, I can't. Like one of our friends took us home to his homeland. Yeah. And where we were staying, it was nice, but like it has rolling power outages. And the power went out, which means the Wi-Fi was out. So then I was like writing. It was like freelancing full time at the time. So I couldn't. It was difficult for me to like upload stuff. Yeah. And then there was something else. It was just too much. Like the second day with like no Wi-Fi and no hot water, I was just like, and no air conditioning on top of that, and it was hot as shit. Yeah. And I was like, okay, like y'all think I'm a bougie asshole anyway, right. So I'm just gonna invoke my bougie assholeness, and I'm going to book the hotel. And so they were like, all right, like we didn't think you were gonna make it this long anyway, Demetria.
Was anyone offended? Like.
No, because he knew. It was like, there's no hot water, there's no electricity, like, I'm at, like that's the other thing, I couldn't charge anything. Oh, yeah. So, like, I couldn't charge my phone, I couldn't charge my, like, laptop, and I was like, it's all too much for me. So he was like, I'm surprised you made it this long, I thought you'd be out, like, day one. And I was like, no, like, I can rough it for, like, a couple days.
Too, like, you have to know yourself, right? Like, there are some people who are like, oh, I like bikepacking and couch surfing, and I'm not a couch surfer.
No, I'm not, no.
I need my space to be cute.
I could do ratchet shit during the day, hood shit, middle of nowhere shit, like reckless, dangerous shit that I probably shouldn't even be here, especially as a tourist, because I don't know like the mood and the vibe and whatever. I'll do that. But I'm coming back.
Where I lay my head
has got to be cute and safe and clean.
Has to be super clean.
Yeah, it has to be a good bathroom and it has to be like a good bed, like whatever the situation, it has to be good. Yeah.
Preferably white sheets so I can see everything.
Only sleep on white sheets when I travel.
Yeah.
I only sleep on white sheets at home.
My sister travels with her pillowcase.
I'm mad at her.
Do you travel with anything where you're like, I need my blanket, I need my this, or no?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah. I like to think I'm pretty. Like,
I'm trying to think.
Low-key.
I'm pretty easy. Like you see, I've been walking around here. Like you have to tell me, like Demetria,
put your shoes on.
Bring the shoes. At least bring the shoes. But like I don't. Yeah. I've been literally walking around like with a backpack and barefoot and some booty shorts, some denim booty shorts. Comfortable.
I always say too, I was telling you this, I have little sister syndrome. Like I pack just whatever, expecting that the other person I'm traveling with is gonna have all the things that I need.
I mean, I have like 2 bottles of sunscreen, and you were like, "I'm good. I have more melanin than you. I'm good."
You have the sunscreen, you have the bug spray,
I have the bug spray.
You have the hair products.
I do.
I always just depend. I'm like, they're gonna be more responsible than I am. It's fine.
That's so weird to me though, because you're like my responsible friend.
In different ways. When I travel with my mom and my sister, I damn near pack nothing.
Oh, I turn my brain off around my mom. Yeah. Like I don't.
Can I use your toothpaste? Did you bring like? But yeah.
Like my mom will always have everything.
I'm normally like the responsible friend. So when I
You are.
have a chance not to be responsible, I'm like, oh, to hell with it.
Yeah.
I ain't doing shit.
Like the situation coming over here, like my flight was delayed.
Yes.
And I was like, we have a bus to catch, and the bus has to make it to the ferry because the ferry stopped running. And like I'm texting you
Freaking
from
out.
the plane, and I was like, in case you don't know that I'm panicking. And you were like, the Wi-Fi, I'm in the airport. It's a little shoddy. Calm down.
Yeah.
It'll be resolved. Have a safe flight. I'm like, Davida! And I was like, actually, I'm traveling with like one of two other people that if there is a crisis,
I'm gonna figure it out.
that you'll like figure it out. And I was like, I went to sleep on the plane.
No matter what.
Yeah, I was like, Davida will figure it out when we land. Like, we have credit cards and debit cards and, you know, cash and passports. Like, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, worst case scenario, like, we stay in Cancun and we catch another shuttle. And you were like, no, the 4 o'clock shuttle left. They're going to come back and get us at 5. Let's have a drink. You look hot.
Let's have a drink. I was like, this happened so that we can have a cocktail before we
like,
leave.
you look hot. Let's get a drink. I was like, what?
And then we immediately went into storytelling. Like, forgot all about the trauma.
Yeah, we were fine.
Yeah.
Because it's what the guy showed up early.
He did. He came right back for us.
Was it Fernando? Valentino?
Valentino.
Yeah, it all worked out. All right, is that your list? Have we completed your
That
list?
is the whole list. Find some alone time if necessary.
Yes.
Early morning journaling. Go by the pool.
You do journal every morning, don't you?
I do journal every morning.
You get up before me.
Yep. It's a must.
I love it.
It's a way to... I started doing this when I first moved to New York back in 05. But it's a way for me to, like, remember the highs and the lows, but, like, just to be able to go back and read and, like, put myself back in that, like, moment.
Yes.
This is a moment that I want to remember forever.
Yes.
And I can always go back to these journal entries like, oh my God, this was beautiful. This was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what my dear mom, I mean, I'm like genuinely like proof of life.
Yes.
But also like, you know.
Yeah. Because you recap the full day and you recap it in a beautiful way.
Thank you.
Along with photos and all the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my mother wants to know what's going on. I think that's everything. These are the only questions people ask for like travel. They all like overlap.
I feel like they probably read your Dear Mom and they get all the questions answered as you go along.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's beautiful.
So that's that.
Hopefully this helps people
Yes.
travel. Hopefully it gets them interested in traveling if they're not already.
Where can people find more information about you?
People can find more information about me through the business. So it's Katelynn and Adwoa. That's KatelynnAnd. Adwoa. ADWOA. And that's the website, that's the Instagram, and that's the Facebook.
Come on, Brandon.
That's it. Katelynn and Adwoa.
And when's your next trip to Ghana?
My next trip to Ghana is this December 27th through January 3rd. We're going to be going to Afrochella. We're going to be experiencing Ghana in the most beautiful way, the most fun way, the most turned up way, and the most luxurious way. And then you're going to be traveling with like-minded travelers. I call them the culturally curious travelers. I'm
excited because I've
Demetria is coming in December.
Yes, I'm coming on this trip.
And you know, if you want to come on the KLA Goes to Ghana trip, we still have spaces available. I think I'm going to open up 10 more spaces. You know, these Demi family of yours,
they like to travel.
They're going to be like, oh, I want to come.
They like to travel. My ladies like, you know, they like luxury.
What do we
they
call
like to
them,
live.
demigods?
They're demigods. Yeah.
They're all your sisters.
They're all my sisters.
I love the community that you've built. You have such a beautiful community of Black women.
No, they're really dope. Like, I need a neurosurgeon. 3 appear. I'm like, where y'all come from?
I mean, there's so many
Medical
people
school.
who I know, like, in real life, and they're like, Demetria mentioned you on her podcast. You know her? I'm like, y'all don't do that.
Like, don't do that
y'all,
shit.
Come on now. Like, stop it.
Like, she's family. Stop that shit. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
So, yeah, this was good.
This was great.
This was literally just putting a microphone with our conversations that we have 24/7.
Pretty much. I don't think I'm going to edit it. I'm just going to, like, air it live.
I love it.
We'll see. But we're about to go because we have an appointment at a teepee for fish and champagne. It's supposed to happen yesterday. We ended up doing, like, lobster and sangria because we couldn't get a teepee. But today...
Which was not a bad alternative.
It's not a bad life. Oh, do you hear the thunder?
We've been hearing it since we've been here. And it's rained once.
Yeah.
So I don't even care about the thunder and lightning anymore.
I mean,
still go
we'll be in our teepee. It's a good life. Thank you, Davida.
Thank you, Demetria.
You're very welcome. Thank you, as always, for tuning into Ratchet and Respectable. If you need some Ratchet and Respectable in your life between now and the next episode, I don't know what to tell you because I'm on vacation and all I'm posting is underboob, champagne, food. So there won't be any Ratchet and Respectable updates about news and pop culture and blah, blah, blah for a while, because I'm on this Odyssey for another like 20 some odd days. So tune in next week and follow me on Instagram if you want to follow the Odyssey. I think that's everything. If it's not, we'll get to it next time. Talk soon. Okay. Bye.